Now in this video I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions on how to make this lovely Easter decoration here. Hopefully you've watched the first introductory video so you've got all your materials assembled together. And if so, let's begin. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is why our decoration features this very beautiful creature, which is our brown hare. And that's because we believe actually this is a very true symbol of the celebrations that would have happened this time of year in very ancient times in this country. And the brown hare we know has been here since at least the Iron Age, and people would have seen it out in the fields. In fact, as we did this morning when we went out for a walk, you can see them gathering in big groups. We saw 12 today, and often some of them are boxing. And there's very much a time of the hare, so it's very much a symbol of these times. There's lots of folklore about brown hares. They're said to be changelings, they can change into fairies, that sort of thing. So a very magical creature, and certainly not actually the Easter bunny as is often depicted for Easter celebrations today, because actually bunny rabbits weren't here until Norman times. So we think any old associations, old ancient traditions would have definitely been our lovely brown hare. And as you can see, they've got very distinctive markings. They've got these beautiful black tipped ears and these lovely amber eyes and quite angular heads. So to show you how to make your hare, so you would have got this template. I hope you've printed it out on your card. Not to worry if you haven't got black card, just paint or felt tip in the tips of the ears black. So you want to start at the feet ends of your hare, and then using this big good strong glue, this is our potato starch glue, you just want to cover the feet first of all with the glue, and then taking our reed. Now I've taken a bit like that, and I've trimmed off all the little bits. I've trimmed off that big thick stalk, so I've got smaller bits like this, and then you just want to start layering it on. Press it down with your finger and get another bit and keep layering it on like this. And you just keep going all the way down across the hare's body. Just keep on adding the glue. Now if you don't happen to have got this glue in your house yet, not to worry, just make sure next time you go online and restock on your crafts materials that you just don't buy any more plastic glue, because we think this kind of glue is obviously much better. So you keep going until basically your hair is totally covered in fur like this, and it's all facing the same way. So you're just going to put that, I'm going to put that to one side now. And the next thing we're going to show you is, obviously here we have the decorated eggs. Eggs, again, a sign from nature at this time of year. As you can probably hear in the garden here, all the birds are singing. Lots of them are making nests and laying eggs. So ancient people would have observed this, of course, and hence eggs are another very, very powerful symbol of Easter in this time of year. So originally you would have had your Blurn eggs like this, your plain ones, and what I suggest you do is you get an egg cup, because it makes life a lot easier, because that's what egg cups are for, putting eggs in, and you just sit it in there, and then you get your sort of wallpaper paste type glue, that cellulose glue that we showed you about. And the easiest way to do this, the least messy, is to basically put the glue on the egg first. And you just want to try and avoid that hole at the top and at the bottom, because later on it makes life a lot easier when you're trying to thread the string through if you haven't covered the holes up. So you basically just add these small bits, and that's why I said it's important to have just small squares of tissue paper. It makes it a lot easier. Don't be tempted to put big bits on, because it just basically goes all wrinkly, isn't it? Very nice. So you just want to keep covering your egg with these small bits of tissue paper like that, and then obviously you turn it upside down and you cover the bottom too. So when you've covered all your eggs in their different plain colours, you have then you can decorate them with your templates from these wildflowers, which hopefully you might have cut out already. So here's some of the pink red campions and so on. So let's take the first one. So on my purple egg, I've actually just pasted on, very simply using the same techniques, the primrose silhouette and its leaves. And our primroses, here's a close-up of some primroses. Very beautiful, sweet smelling wildflower that you can grow very easily in your garden. They like sort of semi-shade, as they would be found in their natural environments, and essential flower for early emerging bumblebees. I absolutely love them. And lots of fairy folklore about primroses. I think the most common one is that people used to believe that the fairies, you'd have to lay out a posy of primroses in your dairy to stop the fairies from stealing your milk. So a very beautiful wildflower with lots of folklore. And then on the pink one, I've stuck here some lovely bluebells. So you see the silhouettes of these bluebell flowers with their long grassy type leaves and their bluebell shapes hanging down. And here's a lovely photograph of bluebells, actually my favourite flower of all time. We're very lucky in Britain to have so many bluebells growing in our ancient woodlands. It's actually they're quite rare everywhere else in the world. They smell fantastic, and if you've never been to a bluebell wood, I seriously recommend you do make that journey to see one. And again, a lot of fairy folklore associated with bluebells. The most common one is that they're said to ring at midnight to bring the fairies to the parties. And yet again, full of lovely nectar for all those bumblebees out and about looking for food. And then on my yellow egg, I stuck on the silhouettes of the violet with its lovely little green heart-shaped leaves. And violets here, now this is a lovely photo of a dog violet, which has a more intense purpley colour, and that's very good, very easy to grow in your garden again in sort of semi-shade, and quite a lot of butterflies. Their caterpillars depend on violets for its food, so again very good for wildlife. And the other type of violet is a sweet violet, which is a slightly paler mauve in colour, has a beautiful scent, and said to be much liked by the fairies for its perfume. And last but not least, on the pale green egg here, I stuck the pink silhouettes of the red campion with its sort of nice dark green leaves. And here's a picture of the red campion. So you might be wondering why it's called red campion when it's in fact very, very pink, and that's because the word pink wasn't really around until a few hundred years ago in this country. So again, in ancient times, or in anything roughly this sort of colour, or what we know as red, they just would have called it red. So pink was a relatively new word. So again, a very beautiful wildflower that grows very easy in your garden and spreads very quickly, often seen growing in the wild amongst bluebells, and in the Isle of Man it's known as fairy buttons. So having basically attached all your silhouettes to your eggs in their different colours, then you need to leave them to dry, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to assemble the rest of the make. Thank you.
Great.
Hello. So hopefully all those things we've made earlier have now dried, and I'm going to now show you the final stages of assembling this Easter decoration and putting it all together. So remember, you had covered the hare, this running hare shape, in the reed. So all you need to do now is literally turn it over and trim off all the extra bits that are sticking out over the side. Just go around all the edges, so you've trimmed them all off. It's much easier to do obviously from the back. And the other thing that you need to do is you need to punch a hole just here under the tail and just here where the nose is. So once you've done that, you can just put that to one side, and we'll show you how to string up the eggs next. So taking one of your eggs, here I've got the violet one on the yellow background, and your needle and thread. So you just obviously thread up the needle, and then it's much easier if you go from the small hole at the top to the big hole at the bottom, so you can see what you're doing. You go down through that hole at the top and then out through the one at the bottom to pull your thread through. And then you want to get a coloured bead, like this big wooden one here that I've got, big pink one, and that's going to act as your stopper. So you want to put a couple of good knots around your bead. Like that. So there you go. That means you can now hang up your egg. And the last thing obviously we need to add to our Hare is he needs his eye. If I show you that picture earlier, as you can see, hares have these beautiful amber coloured eyes, a sort of lozenge shape, and they stick out from the hare's head, which means that they can see behind them and beside them and in front of them, which obviously stops them from, well, helps them to see predators when they're coming. But they're very, very beautiful, very distinct eyes. So I've just made a very simple eye from just out of a bit of white paper, stiff white paper, and first of all I drew that lozenge shape on, and then I coloured it in with the orange and black. So I'm just going to use a bit of glue to stick that in place. There you go. So now your Hare is looking much more realistic. And so finally, and here's one I've already strung up. So as you can see, this is the back of it. And I've attached a bit of thread to make the hanging loop. And I've hung one egg in the middle of that, and the other two are hanging down from beneath it. So I'm just going to add that last one that we did. And you just need to make sure roughly equal length when they're hanging down, and then a small bit of sellotape should do because they're quite lightweight, the eggs. Just about there. And you just trim off that bit, and then hopefully, ta-da! There's your Easter decoration, and I hope you enjoyed making it with me. Thank you.